Welcome to the video lecture series on Six Sigma. In this video, we will study about the basics of Six Sigma define phase and the steps in brief, and also look through some simulated case studies. Without much delay, let's start this journey. As always, I am your instructor Gunjan Subedi, and this is my Lean University, your own university for learning professional skills. Before starting the topic, let me remind you that you can access the full course on Six Sigma through the link in the description. Please stay with me till the end of the video for solving the Six Sigma define phase questions and getting information regarding free resources.
Six Sigma operates on the DMAIC and DMADV cycle, which are the improvement cycles. DMAIC is basically used for the existing business or processes, and DMADV is used for the new business processes or services, or when we entirely change the existing business or services. The phases define, measure, analyze, improve, and control are the phases of the DMAIC, and the phases define, measure, analyze, design, and verify as the phases of the DMADV or design for Six Sigma. For now, let us dive deeper into the define phase. Both DMAIC and DMADV have this phase as a common phase. Let us now study what do we actually explore in the define phase. As we already know, define phase is the first phase of DMAIC and DMADV cycle. We explore the following points in the define phase. We explore risk of undertaking and not undertaking the project. That means we first try to find out why we should undertake or why we should not select any project. We also explore the needs of the customers. We learn the voice of customers. We also use various tools such as Kano model in this phase. We also explore the financial needs and advantages of the project, and we learn to form and manage the team. This team will be working on the Six Sigma project. Define phase also outlines the team focus, which we do through the stakeholder analysis. We communicate the findings with the stakeholder analysis, and we allocate different members to the different tasks of the projects through different tools such as RACI matrix, etc. And this is also the phase where we launch the project. And at last, after the Six Sigma define phase is over, we draft the project charter and we communicate the findings with the other stakeholders. Now these are just the points from the surface. Let us study each steps of the define phase and the tools we use in each of these phases. But before that, let's learn why is it actually called the define phase, or what do we define. We call this phase a define phase because we define everything needed for the Six Sigma projects in the define phase. First, we define what projects need to be improved. We are defining the project needs that should be improved. And the tools used in this step of the define phase are project prioritization matrix. We prioritize what project needs to be selected. Before that, we should understand if we should select the Six Sigma project or not. Selecting Six Sigma projects is beneficial for improvement for any organization and any functions, but sometimes there might be simple solutions to the problem. So if those solutions can be fixed as soon as possible, or there is a simpler solution, we should use that solution. In fact, we cannot develop a Six Sigma project for every improvement. Note that Six Sigma projects take time, team, resources. Also, there are some financial aspects. So before implementing any Six Sigma projects, we should identify its need for the particular project. This is a project prioritization matrix where we try to prioritize and find out which projects should we select. For example, in this scenario, we are prioritizing two projects, project 1 and project 2, based on different factors: duration, cost, complexity, return on investment, difficulty, and the available resources. And we are assigning different weight to the different projects and their factors. And based on the total weight at the end, we are trying to prioritize the project. So project prioritization matrix helps us to know which project is to be selected based on different factors such as duration, cost, complexity, return on investment, difficulty, and the available resources. In fact, there may be more or different factors than what I presented it here. So the second phase or the second step of the define phase is we define the existing problem that we want to improve. There should be particular problem that we are interested in improving with the help of define phase. So what is that particular problem? In order to identify that, we use different tools such as problem statement, business case, is or is not analysis, and SMART goals. Actually, we use is and is not analysis more on the A3 analysis that we will study in the Lean Six Sigma Belt portion. A problem statement can be formed by answering different WH questions: what, where, when, why, and who, and how the problems affects the business. Third, we try to find out the risks and rewards of the project. And for that, we use tools such as project risk analysis or the project risk assessment. We try to find out the risk inherent in project by different points, such as who are the project members, who is the project leader, what is the nature of the project, and scopes and benefits of the projects. And there may be other points also which helps us to assess the risk inherent in the project. So this phase or this step helps us to identify different risks present in the project, and based on those we brainstorm which project is to be selected and how the project is to be developed. The next thing that we study in the define phase is we define the current process. So what is meant by that? By the term or by the step defining current process means we identify how the current process is running. We identify the steps of the current process. We try to identify the layout. We try to identify the flow of the process, etc. The tools used in this process or in this step is the SIPOC matrix or SIPOC diagram, which stands for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers, process maps, and particularly value stream maps and the deployment maps. This is SIPOC, which stands for supply, input, process, output, and customers. The process steps is actually adding the value, and there are feedbacks. When there is any feedback from the process, it supplies the feedback to the suppliers, which receives the feedback and provides the input according to the feedback. And also there is a feedback loop from the customer side also. The customers gives the feedback by the help of which we can make improvement in the process itself. Next, we study the value stream map also. Value stream map looks something like this. This though looks complex, in this instance is not complex at all. And there are different symbols such as Kanban symbols, information flow symbols, process flow symbols, etc. This is just to show you how a full-fledged value stream maps looks like. But I want to clarify here that one benefit of value stream map is identifying the source of the problem visually and also mentioning what improvement has to be done in order to eliminate the defect or loss at that particular point. For example, here we are using different improvement tools like Andon, SMED, Pocoyoke, etc., which are given in the yellow color. These all are the lean terms that we will be learning in the lean section. So actually by selecting this course, you are going to learn about both the lean tools and the Six Sigma tools, which is great for improving any Six Sigma projects because it will take care of the financial side also and also reducing the waste along with the improvement of the project. The fifth step is we define the customer's preferences. We try to find out what the customers really want, and we use different tools such as brainstorming for finding out what the customers really want, affinity diagram, voice of customers using the Kano model, and other tools such as House of Quality. So this is an example of the affinity diagram where we group the items that are related to each other at the one side. Affinity means belongingness or closeness or similarity, etc. So based on the similarity, we group the brainstorm idea under one column. This is an example of the Kano model which is used in the voice of customers. That means we try to fulfill the customer's expectation based on their needs. There may be different needs of the customers, which may be one-dimensional, attractive needs, or must-be needs, or reverse needs, etc. So the whole motto behind the voice of customers using the Kano model is addressing the customer's needs or preferences correctly. This is an example of the house of quality, which gives us various information regarding the relationship between the customer's desire and the features of the work or the engineering features. We can also compare our standing or our product's standing compared with the other competitors in the market. And this is a great tool in order to identify which engineering features or what features of the products or services can we improve based on the customer's demand or desires. We then define the team and responsibilities. For that, we allocate different people in the Six Sigma team, and these includes different belt professionals. We also provide them different job description, and we allocate the tasks with the help of RACI diagram. There may be many people with different work experiences involved in the Six Sigma team. These may be the white belt, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, or champion. And we allocate different tasks to these people along with other people which are also called the Six Sigma associates or executives who are not really related to the Six Sigma belts or who really don't have the professional Six Sigma belts training, but they can help during the Six Sigma project. So all these stakeholders are actually forming the Six Sigma team. Then this is an example of the RACI matrix. RACI means responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So through this matrix, we try to find out who is actually responsible for the project, who is accountable, who can be consulted, and who can be informed. So there are different priorities and job descriptions allocated to the different people involved in the project. With the help of this matrix, we can allocate different works to the people. We then define the resources and financial figures. Of course, this is a very important step. We try to find out what resources we need and what will be the cost of the company and what will be the cost of implementing and not implementing the Six Sigma project, because finally, if the Six Sigma project is not going to help in the financial improvement of the company, although it always does, there will be no use of implementing the Six Sigma. So we try to find out what is the financial improvement or what are the resources that are needed for the implementation of the Six Sigma project. And this one is particularly more important when we want to communicate the project objectives or the project benefits with the owners of the company, because these are the business people and they look the financial aspects of the project. We then start the project and we communicate different ideas. We communicate about the findings of the project. We use various tools such as A3 analysis documents, stakeholder analysis, and the project charter. Project charter is an important document that is used in any Six Sigma projects and Lean Six Sigma projects. We enter every findings of the Six Sigma project inside the project charter. Project charter is the summarized document of all the Six Sigma process steps and improvements. This is an example of the A3 analysis report. Here we see different aspects such as background screening and problem clarification, current condition screening or breaking down of the problem, setting the target, analysis of the root causes, developing different countermeasures in order to counter the defects, implementing the countermeasures, monitoring results and processes, and standardizing the results. So the A3 document, particularly which we use in the Lean Six Sigma define phase, is also the document that we can use to communicate as a summarized version of the work in the Six Sigma project. Basically, after you complete the define phase, you will be able to fill up the two blocks of this A3 analysis project, that is background screening and problem clarifications, which contains the background such as problem statement, problem clarification and potential benefits, and also the current condition screening, which contains the process maps or the current process maps, and also the SI POC diagram. We have to do the stakeholder analysis before communicating any findings. Stakeholder analysis is a tool which we can use in order to find what actions are necessary based on the attitude and activity of the stakeholders.
After all this, let's start the third section of this video. Let's run the quiz. Your scenario here is Linda approaches you for helping her drafting a Six Sigma implementation plan. She has the following list of activities. As you have already gone through the phases of Six Sigma define phase, which activity will you first prioritize for Six Sigma define phase? The options are: will you ask Linda to define the current process, such as flowcharting? Or will you ask Linda to define what problems she wants to solve through Six Sigma project? Or will you try to communicate the findings of Six Sigma define phase to other stakeholders? Or will you ask Linda to prioritize which projects she wants to improve? I'll give you some time to think, so you can pause the video now at this point. Okay, let me reveal the answer. The correct answer to this question is, I will ask Linda to prioritize which projects she wants to improve. For this, she can use the tools such as Project Prioritization Matrix. The reason is also given in the left-hand side. Because before defining any problems that we want to improve or mapping the current process, we should first prioritize which project to start for Six Sigma improvement, considering return on investment or say the financial attributes and many different priority factors. So the first step of the Six Sigma define phase, as we studied, was prioritizing the project. So she should first go with prioritizing the projects that she wants to improve. Okay, let's head on to the next question. At this point, I will not provide you the answer. I request you to write the answers on the comment section, and I'll be checking your answers in the comment section. The scenario here is Linda approaches you for helping her draft a Six Sigma implementation plan. She has the following list of activities. As you have already gone through the phases of Six Sigma, which activity will you do last in the Six Sigma define phase? Is it defining the current process? Is it defining the problems she wants to solve through Six Sigma project? Or is it trying to communicate the findings of Six Sigma define phase to other stakeholders? Or is it prioritizing which projects she wants to improve? Of course, the fourth point might not be the answer, because we have already studied that we prioritize which projects we want to improve in the first step of the define phase. For more quizzes on Six Sigma define phase and case studies, please don't forget to watch the next video on define phase exam questions and answers, and videos of other Six Sigma phases too. Also, please do not forget to go through Six Sigma resources on the description. Thank you so much. Meet you in the next video.